Hi guys, this is Bill from Spencer1984.com with an update to the Mad Max Holden Sandman. And it's been an interesting build. No complaints, the quality of it is outstanding, but the way that the sub-assemblies break down and then get pulled together as individual modules definitely speaks to the die-cast history of DDA. But again, nice as everything fits together, no complaints about it. So, starting with the engine, we never got a clear shot of it in the movie, and since the rest of this vehicle is pretty well customized and the general nature of everything in this universe, I wanted to give a little bit more of a hot rod appearance. And so I did the block in orange with some chrome valve covers and an aluminum intake manifold. Otherwise, everything is pretty much straight out of the box. And taking a look at the engine bay, just a few parts went into this. And I did put the radiator in, even though I'm not supposed to yet. If you look at it, you got mounts for the two radiator hoses there, and we also have two holes on the firewall for the heater hoses. And officially what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to attach the radiator to the engine, but I found it's a little easier to do it this way. Got to get the transmission in first, and then just line this up, and then I give it a little push, and it snaps into place. So that lower radiator hose helps locate it. And then to attach it permanently, got a screw hole and a locator here on the bottom. And once that locator is fully in place, like you see here, just drop the screw. Don't drop the screw in the hole. And I'll use the screwdriver they provided and just torque it down. And I'll give it a little help from this side too, because I don't want to over tighten the screw and strip out some plastic. But that feels pretty good. So, got the engine in. Just take our tweezers here and plug the radiator hose in, like that, and plug in the two heater hoses. That there. Actually, put that in the bottom one, and there. There we go. Finished engine bay. Alright, so now moving on to the interior, we've got the lower half here, and I did add some carpeting up front. That was looking a little too flat, so I just did some embossing powder, and got the center console, got that detailed, got the rear cargo area built up, all that's painted. And I was concerned about the seats, but they're not bad. They look pretty good, and they almost snap in. Not quite though. So this is one of the places that needs a little glue, and for it, I'm just going to take a dot of the super glue here, and on the underside, just a little tiny drop right back there, and that's really all it needs. And now officially at this point, I'm supposed to put in the headliner, and I do have it painted, but I'm not going to install it until I've got the body prepped, so I can just double check, make sure everything fits the way I want it to. I mean, from everything else I've seen with the kit, that shouldn't be a problem, but I still like to double check it. And the last thing is the chassis. And I had commented on looking at the kit that I thought the exhaust was probably the weakest point, and I still stand by that. It's not terrible, but you can definitely tell that one of these is a separate part and the other is just cast in place. It does have a separate fuel tank. That drops in really nice. And it also has the separate front suspension, which is a little bit of a tighter fit. And actually doesn't need glue. The fuel tank does though. So we'll do the same thing with that and put a little drop of glue here and here. Doesn't need a whole lot. Don't need to glue the whole perimeter or anything like that. Just enough on the mounting tabs. and that should be fine just like that. Now for the wheels, I did carve off the center rib. This being a plastic body, it's not carrying a whole lot of weight, and trying to get the tires over this was going to be more trouble than it's worth, especially because I put some decals on the tires to get the BF Goodrich Radial TA lettering, and historically, trying to stretch this around a ribbed wheel ends up damaging or destroying the decals. And the axles are not knurled in this kit, so once you get the wheel lined up, just get it right there and give it a good squeeze. And they can be fully seated without having to resort to hammering anything. Just like that. And now I can get my tire on, and without that center rib, that just slides on. And there we go. And the only downside to cutting off that center rib is going to make sure that the tires are seated at the edge of the rim like they're supposed to be. There we go. So now have a rolling chassis with the interior and engine bay basically ready to go. And it's time to move on to the body. So I've got the prep work underway on that. I'll be getting that into some paint and have an update on it next weekend, so you can check back then. And thanks for watching.